Welcome to SD Direct. This is the session 4 of the Ultimate Guide to Selling on Amazon. Over the last 3 sessions, we have been going through the proprietary ROAR process from Rankin Bank, and today we're going to finish the final R with James Hyatt, our Amazon expert. So James, take it away for session 4.
All right, thank you, Karen. Let me just get my screen set up here. And here we go. Excellent. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us for session number 4. It's been an incredible journey with you so far doing these workshops. It's been a lot of fun. And today we're going to be covering the final acronym, R, for review of the ROAR process. And again, that is research, optimize, advertise, review. And this is a system that I've developed personally over the last 7 years of selling on Amazon myself and for my clients who I manage in our agency now that we run, called Rankin Bank. And so today we're going to be talking about the importance of customer feedback. And I've got a lot of exciting and interesting information to share with you that is very relevant for today and your online selling business. So let's dive right in. This workshop is for you if you are a brand, a manufacturer, or a private label seller who sells your products on Amazon, or you currently sell products online, maybe on a different platform such as Shopify, but you're not quite on Amazon yet, but you want to get started. Today, you're going to learn about product reviews and how those compare and are different with seller feedback. You're going to learn about generating reviews and avoiding Amazon penalties, how to handle and remove negative reviews, and understanding and resolving customer concerns. So today is all about your customer and the feedback that they leave in regards to your products and the services that you offer. And I'm sure that if you're like me, you're also an online shopper, and maybe you frequent Amazon or Alibaba, AliExpress, eBay, Etsy, any of these platforms. And when you're shopping online, it's hard to really get a good understanding of what it is that you're purchasing. All we have are the images, some text, and maybe video. But one of the key things and the best to actually understanding the real life perspective are the product reviews. And what are other people saying about this product that have already purchased it? And so as we venture into selling on Amazon, it's important for us to understand that landscape, how it works, and how we can use it to our advantage, whether those reviews are good or bad. So some product statistics for you here is, first of all, online research shows that 91% of shoppers read product reviews. And of those 91%, 84% trust the reviews as if they would a personal referral. Meaning that your friend or family member or colleague actually spoke to you in person and recommended a product. So people are using these reviews just as if they would in real life, even though they've never met or seen or even know these other people on the other end of the computer that are writing the reviews. So it's really important for us to understand how they work and how we can leverage them in our business. Based on my personal observation, selling on Amazon and working with clients the last 7 years, what I've seen is that more reviews equal more sales. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, duh, yeah, of course. But I've even seen if your overall review rating isn't that good, but you have a lot more reviews than the competitors, that can still be a benefit. And so we're going to talk about how that works, and also a concept called herd mentality. And this is when, like I said, you may not have the best product rating, but because you have the most reviews compared to the competitors, you're still going to win that sale. And the way that you can think about product reviews is really like building a moat around your castle, metaphorically. And so as you think about creating your product listings and selling new items, right, these are pieces of digital real estate. These are assets. And that product review is a super important piece of it, because reviews are typically actually challenging to get, right? Amazon has done a lot of things to prohibit and make it hard for you to get reviews, because they want them from verified purchasers, and they want to make sure that they are real. And so over here to the right, I just put a couple examples of some of my favorite products and brands we've worked with and we've helped achieve tens of thousands of reviews while working together. We have the classic Seraphic Skincare Mitts product here. You see 15,000 reviews. And over here, this is Luxtronic, their digital HDT antenna, and this is 12,500 reviews. And both of these products are top sellers in their categories. So with that being said, I want to ask you, what is your review strategy? Have you just put your products up online and you're just letting the reviews come in organically? Or do you have some type of system to request reviews? Well, if you don't have any strategy, or you want to brush up on yours that you have today, we're going to be talking all about that. So get out your pens and pencils, get out your notepad, and get ready to take some notes so that you can improve your business. Product reviews versus seller feedback. So when I work with clients, one of the first things that I want to make sure that they understand is the difference between the product review and the seller feedback. So we're going to go over here to Amazon really quick. And I just want to show you a couple examples of what I'm talking about. So let me just open this up, go to Amazon.com, and let's just go over to one of our favorite examples here, Seraphic Skincare. So this is the product detail page, and I'm sure you're all very familiar with this by now. And the first place that product reviews show up is right here on the detail page below the product title. And if we hover over this, you can see the product rating and then the number of reviews. And so on Amazon, everything is done with a 5-star rating. So your product is rated from number 1 to number 5. And depending on the percentage of ratings that you have, how many do you have that are 1-star versus 5-star, that is going to give you the total sum or total amount of your overall rating. What I typically see is that if you can keep your product above 4 stars, then you've got the best chance of success. Once that star rating starts to go below 4 stars, you start to get into some trouble areas, and it's just kind of downhill from there. So that's the first place that product reviews show up. Then if we scroll down the page, we also see product review showing up here again below the product details. And then finally, we have the actual written reviews themselves down here at the very bottom of the page. And this is where you could go if you wanted to read those details, right? And so over the years, Amazon has added some pretty interesting things. First of all, we see that kind of rating scale here again. And then down here, they actually, when you're on the back end leaving the product review, they have a couple preset attributes, right? So value for the money, the durability of the product, the style, the softness, for sensitive skin. So based on the product we're looking at in the category, Amazon is offering up these other benefits or features that you can leave ratings on. And so that's very interesting. And we've seen that develop over time. And later, once we get into the feedback and understanding how to utilize those reviews to improve your sales, these types of things really do come in handy for us. Down here, we've got the actual written product reviews. So this is where people took the time to write information out, and we can see that. And these ones are being filtered by top reviews. So once somebody leaves a review, it can be upvoted with people clicking on this helpful button. And so you can see it for this one by Shannon, she left a pretty detailed review here. Looks like we could even click this button to read more. And 1,442 people, found this review helpful. And so people can also attach images to their product reviews. So you can see here, these customers took pictures of the product and also how it worked for them and posted that on their review. And that's also showing up for the customers as well. And again, we can start to see some of this word cloud. So Amazon is doing a lot with reviews, right? This is not just simple, review on the page. They're actually taking that data and displaying it to you as the customer and also as the seller in different formats to be as useful as possible. One thing that's kind of cool is you could actually click on this keyword, and then Amazon is going to filter all of the product reviews with that keyword in it. So if there was specific things that you saw in this keyword cloud that were important to you, and you could click on that and you could read those reviews. Another little feature here is you can click on this drop down button, and this is going to show you the most recent reviews. And so let's see if we just unselect that and then we do most recent. You can see that this one came in on May 1st, right? So this is one thing that I personally like to do as a shopper myself is I want to check the most recent reviews, because I know that on Amazon, sellers are constantly sending in their new inventory. And so I want to see if I purchase today, what is the status of that inventory, right? What is the quality of that product? I don't necessarily want to look at a review from 5 years ago because I don't know, maybe they've changed manufactured during that time. I want to see what is the most recent review from the products that they're getting. So this is where product reviews show up on the product detail page. And we're going to be talking a lot more about this. I just wanted to make this, very easy and clear. What is a product review? A product review is a customer's review of the product itself. So this should only contain information about the product. Did they like it? Did they not like it? Did it meet their expectations? That type of thing. Now, if we click on this little button over here, this is actually going to take us to the store profile or the seller profile. And on this page, we're going to be able to read the feedback, right? The seller feedback. Okay. And so this is where I want to start to create that differentiation between a product review and a seller feedback. Seller feedback is a customer's feedback on the the delivery of that item. So did the item show up on time? Was the box that it came in good condition? Was the packaging like new? And then if they had any interaction with the actual seller, how was that interaction? Was it professional? Did they do a good job? So you'll see a lot of times that customers get that confused and they end up leaving product reviews in the seller feedback. But for the purpose of this section right now, if you go into the store profile and you look at this feedback, this is just feedback on the seller. Like, how are they doing as a seller? And so you can see Amazon has 30-day, 90-day, 12 months, lifetime, and then they have the overall ratings for the feedback, and then what is their percentage. So this seller has 93%. And the reason this is important is because on Amazon, sometimes multiple people are selling the same product. And so if you do a little bit of further digging and you look at each one of the sellers who are selling that product, some of them may have a better feedback rating than others. And that could help you make a more informed purchasing decision, meaning I'm going to purchase from this seller because they have a better rating. That means that the product that they sell is authentic and it comes packaged well. And I know that what I order, I'm going to get, versus another seller who maybe doesn't have as good as a rating. It may be harder to trust that person. So I hope that you can see the difference between the product review is a review only about the product, and then the seller feedback is just about your experiencing, purchasing, and receiving that product from the seller. One other thing I wanted to show you on the product detail page, and this is in addition to product reviews and seller feedback, but it also is in this realm of receiving, information from your customers is going to be the question and answer section. And that's what we find down here, just above the product reviews. So if the customer has any question that maybe the product detail page is not doing a good job of explaining, then they can go and they can write their question in here. And then that question can be upvoted or downvoted by the other customers, right? Because just like back in elementary school, if you had a question, your teacher said to raise your hand because there's probably other people in the class that also have the same question, right? It's the same thing on the product detail page. So the consumer can write a question in here, and then the seller can come back, or another customer can come back, and they can answer that question. And what's pretty cool, we don't see it on this one, but now you can actually post a video response to your customer question. So these are all features for customers and sellers to engage with one another about how they're doing, as far as what the product is and how they're doing as a seller. And it's important to understand this, because this is a big part of selling on Amazon, is building up your product reviews and building up your seller feedback. So let's jump back over here and make sure we talked about everything. One other thing to mention about the product reviews is that there's verified and there's unverified. Okay. And so what this means is, on Amazon, they actually do allow you to receive product reviews from people who maybe purchased your product outside of Amazon. So if you sell your product in a brick and mortar store and someone went and purchased it and used it, they could come on to Amazon and then leave a product review. But that would be considered unverified, right? So if it's verified, that means that it was purchased on Amazon, and Amazon can verify that purchase, like with their payment details, their order number. And so that's where we see the verified purchase. If I was to filter by unverified, this client doesn't really sell too much off of Amazon, so we're not going to see a lot, but essentially you just would not have this little tag right here if it was unverified. So those are the two things to kind of know about the verified, the unverified, and the difference between the product reviews and the seller feedback. So now let's go ahead and jump inside of Seller Central, and let's see where these things live as far as product reviews and seller feedback. So the first one that we're going to take a look at is the product reviews. So if we go into our Amazon Seller Central account, and then we come down into brands, okay, and I do have this set up on the newer version of Seller Central, and so you would need to update yours if you want to be able to navigate in the style that I'm sharing with you. We're going to go to brands, and then we can come down here and we can go to customer reviews. And so what Amazon does now is they actually update these reviews on the back end here for you to see all the information about the reviews and the reviewer and whatnot. And so you can come here if you just want to check on your reviews and see if there's any new ones. It's going to show you, who reviewed it, the date that they reviewed it, what was the information they left about their product, and then also the details of the item that they purchased. And so this is a great dashboard to just easily be able to kind of scroll down, take a look at your reviews. Oops, here's one that's a 1-star, what happened? Okay, and I can read this and then, figure out what's going on with this 1-star review, right? And so this is where you would do that inside of Seller Central. There's also some really cool filters here, right? So I could filter by the star rating, I can filter by the time period, or I could just filter by the child ASIN, right? Especially for this product, because I think it has 4 or 5 different colors all combined together. This is easy to filter by. Okay, the next thing we're going to want to take a look at is called Voice of the Customer. And this is another one where Amazon is delivering to us information about our customers' feedback about our products. And so we can see all the different products in here. And then based on our NCX score or rating, Amazon is going to give us a different indicator here, whether it's good, excellent, maybe poor, fair, right? So we see these different indicators up here. And we're always shooting to probably be in the good or excellent category, but sometimes products do fall down into these lower ratings. I'll tell you a quick story about another one of my brands. They had a product and they had recently, there was some logistic issues and they needed to switch a manufacturer. So they switched manufacturer for one of the item components. It was a product that was filled with liquid. It was like a little spray bottle. And then they had some tablets and then they had another spray bottle. Well, they only switched out the manufacturer for one of the spray bottles and then they received the inventory. They started shipping it to Amazon. Well, they started to get all this like negative feedback from customers, like 1-star review. Their NCX rating started to go down. And we were like, what's happening? And we looked in here and we could see that Amazon was actually showing us what the customers were saying. And what they were saying is that that bottle that had been switched out with the new manufacturer was arriving with no liquid in it. And so they were able to, take a look at their inventory back at the manufacturer and then go to them and say, hey, what happened? These people are complaining about this. And they found out that there was actually a leak in the cap on those bottles. And so this is an area where, because of that customer feedback, we're able to learn about what the issue is, take action on that, and then resolve it quickly and get new inventory. Okay, so this is a great place where you can come, and Amazon is tying in these different reports to give you the information that you need in order to understand what's going on and take action. So that's voice of the customer. And then finally, we have the feedback manager. Okay, so let's get that pulled up here. Just see how to do this. Come on. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go over to this one here, and then we will go to feedback. Okay, so again, I'm showing you all the places inside Seller Central where you would actually be able to go and see this. The first thing that we did is we looked on the marketplace and I showed you where the reviews live on the product detail page, where the seller feedback is. And now I'm showing you the same things, but inside of Seller Central. So this is your feedback manager, and this is going to be just for the seller feedback. Okay, so again, a lot of people end up leaving a product review in your seller feedback, but some people do get it right. So this one is talking about, good product, shipped fast, A+ seller, quick shipping, right? So this is the kind of information that's helpful. Sometimes customers will leave negative product reviews in the feedback. And thankfully, we do have a way that we can take action on that and get it removed. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But I just wanted you to know where to find this later on when you're looking back in there. And it's good to take have a track record and know how you're doing over the last 30 days, 90 days, 365 days. And if you're not getting a perfect score, you want to work on improving that. Okay. And we'll talk about how to do that a little bit later. So let's move on here to our next slide. And now we're going to get into some of the information about generating product reviews and avoiding Amazon penalties. And I'll just tell you, this is going to be one of the most gray areas that you will find with selling on Amazon. Over the years, especially earlier, it was a lot easier to get Amazon product reviews. There was different things that you could do to incentivize people. But as we've gone on and consumers have become more aware, and also the liability has grown for Amazon themselves, Amazon has had to crack down and become a lot more strict and conservative on product reviews. And so in today's age, there's definitely less things that we can do to get reviews. It's probably the hardest that it's ever been in the last 10 years, but we definitely still have some surefire ways to do it correctly and to do it without getting in trouble. So let's talk about some of those programs. So the first one we're going to talk about is called Request a Review. And this is a little bit of a newer program as far as maybe the last 2 years. And the way that this one works is I'm going to show you how to do it manually, and then I'm going to talk to you about how you could do it on automated. So if we go into our orders page, and then we do have to go back here a little ways. So let's go to March, and then we'll go to March 1st here. Okay. So we're going to go back a couple months, and actually, I think I went back a little bit too far. Sorry about that. Let's go with 31st. Okay, let's see if this has it. All right, perfect. So I went to my manage order page, and then I found an order that was within 5 to 30 days of today's date. Now, in that case, when you go to the actual order, you're going to see this little button here. It's called Request a Review. Okay, so if I click on that, it's going to take me to this page. Now, I have all of my brands set up on an automated sequence to be able to automatically request the review, but that's why it's not showing anything here. But if I did not have that set, once you click that button, then it's going to pop up a little window, and it's just a very simple button. It says, would you like to request a review for this product? If yes, then you click the button, and then Amazon automatically sends out the request for review. And the reason that I really like this method is because this is a templated email written by Amazon. Also, it will pull through the product image of your item, the product title, the reviews, and the price. And then you can set it up so that you can request seller feedback and product review in the same message. The other cool thing is that Amazon will translate that message into whatever is the preferred language for the customer who is receiving that message. So these are all things that you don't have to think about. It's all automated as soon as you click that button. Now, the downside with this is that you would have to go into every single order, manually click on that button, and then make sure that you have some type of tracking software or just even a Google spreadsheet to go to track, okay, for all these orders, I clicked the button, I sent it out, right? It's a very monotonous, tedious process. And I guess you could outsource it to a VA, but with what I'm going to show you next, there's really no need. So that's the request a review button. And it's awesome because we know that it's along Amazon's terms of service, and we're not going to get in trouble when we're using it. If we want to automate this process, there's a ton of tools that can do that now. Helium 10, Feedback 5 is actually my favorite. I have another program called Merchant Spring that I do. And what it does is you just hook your account up to Amazon through the API, and then you can just set a couple different filters. And what it does is it looks at that product in the order, and then as soon as it becomes eligible for Amazon's system to request a review, it goes ahead and it does that for you automatically. And the way that you can kind of think about this is like an email autoresponder for your CRM, like your customer relation management tool. Okay, so you just hook that up to Amazon, and then you just set your filters, and then that tool is going to automatically request those reviews for you on autopilot based on the filters that you set. And that's going to be the absolute best way to do this. You don't want to do it manually. You're probably going to forget, and then you're going to miss out on reviews. But this is a baseline. So all of my clients, I want to make sure that they're set up and they're running on this automated request a review. And usually with these softwares, it's 30, 40 bucks a month. And it can even be less expensive if you're brand new, maybe like $9, $10 a month. So it's very inexpensive. It's definitely worth your time to do that. And it's going to help you build up your product reviews. The next thing that we're going to talk about is Amazon Vine. So this is a program within Amazon Seller Central that allows you to request up to the first 30 reviews, and it helps you to do that with actually incentivizing Amazon customers, but Amazon is doing the incentivizing. So I know we talked about not incentivizing, but if it's Amazon doing it, then that's okay. All right, so this is the Vine program, and the way that it works is you enroll your product. So typically your product needs to have, like, this is usually for brand new product. You have no reviews and you want to help getting your first 30 reviews, you can enroll it in Vine. Now this program does cost $200. That's the enrollment fee. And then you can put in the amount of units that you want to enroll. I would always recommend that you do the maximum amount if you're going to, pay the $200, because I think whether you do one product or 30, it's going to cost 200. So as soon as you put the amount of units that you want to enroll, and then you can go ahead and enroll this, what's going to happen is Amazon is going to make this portion of your inventory available to their vetted Amazon Vine reviewers. So these are Amazon customers who have been vetted for their review capabilities, that when they receive the product, they're going to try it and then leave an authentic review on the product listing. So it's super, they're good reviews. And sometimes clients ask me, yeah, but what if they leave a bad review? Well, the thing is, if they leave a bad review, at least they're going to leave you information about why they thought it was bad. It's not going to just be like, I don't like this product or not a good product. They'll write a couple sentences or a couple paragraphs and explain to you, why they didn't like the product. And that information can be very helpful when you're trying to improve the experience. So this is Amazon Vine. And if you go into the program, then they're going to show you how many enrollments you have. This account has 60 enrollments remaining. And as long as your product has less than 30 reviews, you can go ahead and just pay the $200 and enroll it. And then pretty much everything is automated from there on Amazon's side. Now, the final way to incentivize product reviews is with a product insert. And I'm just going to show you this example from one of my clients I've been working with recently. And this is actually pretty brand new, hot off the press. So this is the back side of the insert, which is really the most important. I think on the front side of this insert, it just says, thank you for your purchase, and then the brand name. So what they did here is, because they know that a lot of people, kind of struggle with how to use the product, they put some very simple instructions on how to use the product here. Really, that would work for any of the products that they buy. Their product line is pretty unique. So it's either like a tablet that you take or a spray, and it kind of does the same thing as far as what it solves. And so they could put all of those, instructions here. And then also just some more important information. A lot of people ask questions like, hey, does this treat sleep apnea? So they want to just put that right on this product insert to instill in the customers again that it does not. And then this was really important. We worked hard on this to make sure that it's compliant. So you can absolutely ask for a product review, but it's really important in the way that you ask for it. A lot of people that I see that are doing it incorrect and are violating terms say, if you're happy, then leave a review. And if you're not happy, then contact us and let us, solve this for you. But the problem with that is Amazon sees it as manipulation of the customer, because if they're not happy, instead of just going and leaving a review about that, you're encouraging them to call you first so that you can fix the issue. And then you're probably going to ask them to leave a review after that. So then you're going to end up only getting positive reviews. And I know you're probably saying to yourself, James, well, that sounds great. Why would I not want to do that? Well, the reason you don't want to do it is because it's against Amazon's terms and you can get suspended, and then you won't be able to sell on Amazon at all, right? So pick your battles, okay? So what we say here is, we're a small team that cares. Please share the love by posting a review so others can benefit from your experience, okay? So you notice here, we don't say anything about being happy or not happy. We just say, hey, we're a small team, we love working with you, and please post your experience. Whether it's good or bad, post your experience. If you have questions or concerns, then you can contact our support team, right? But this is not saying if you're unhappy, then contact us. It's just saying, hey, if you have any questions or concerns, contact us. Either way, leave a review, right? So it's very unbiased. This is neutral territory. I'm confident that if an Amazon employee were to review this, they would find nothing wrong with it, okay? Then we have a nice little QR code that they can scan to go to a contact form. They can do email or they can do a call. So again, this is just another little encouragement to have them leave a product review. So those are the three main ways that you can go after product reviews. And I definitely would encourage you to look into these. All of these are going to be, in accordance with terms of service, white hat, and you're not going to get in trouble as long as you kind of follow the directions that I just spelled out to you. Okay, now for seller feedback, Again, you can use that request to review button and you can include a request for seller feedback there. But the other things that I wanted to talk about as far as seller feedback is really being like proactive versus being reactive. And so a proactive approach is thinking ahead about your customer. Okay, how can I design my product packaging to be super customer friendly? How can I create an amazing fulfillment experience so that they get their product on time, in the good condition, maybe it even arrives early? These are proactive things that you can do to create a happy customer. And happy customers are more likely to give you positive feedback or just leave feedback in general. Okay. Some reactive things that you could do are providing customer service, especially through the buyer seller messaging. So buyer seller messaging is where a customer can message you as the seller if they have any issues with the order. So they could say, hey, I got the product, but it was open, right? And then how do you deal with that? Do you respond really quick back to them and say, hey, I'm so sorry this happened, let me send you a free product? Or, would you like me to send you a refund? Or would you like a free product, right? So providing that customer service, not blaming them for this thing that happened to them, and just being very friendly and supportive. Those are things that you can do in a reactive situation to create a good experience, and then hopefully they'll leave you feedback. And if you had a good experience with them and you provided the support and they went from being, not happy to happy, after that conversation, you could always just say, hey, I would really appreciate it if you left a seller feedback, right? And again, you're not saying leave good or bad. You're just saying, I would appreciate if you left seller feedback, right? And then it's up to them if they're going to do it or not. So we don't want to be pushy. We don't want to be, trying to incentivize them, but you can ask. You can definitely ask as long as you're being neutral and you're not trying to manipulate them. Okay. If you get into the manipulation, that's where you're going to have troubles. So I did put this link here, and this is going to take us to the back end of Amazon Seller Central. And I'm not going to read through all of this right now, but Amazon is very clear about what is appropriate and what is not appropriate with product reviews. And they also go into a lot of details about what you can do as a seller and what you can't do as a seller. And so a couple that I just want to highlight here that I've seen a lot of people do and get in trouble with are going to be these ones right here. Okay. So a seller offers to provide a refund or reimbursement after the buyer writes a review. Okay. And this could be like giving them a gift card or reimbursing them via PayPal. Here's another one, like a seller uses a third-party service that offers free or discounted products tied to a review. For example, a review club, having like a family member or an employee of the seller post a review of the seller's product or a competitor product, a seller offering a refund or compensation to a reviewer in exchange for, removing a review. Or here's a big one. This is the one I was talking about. A seller only asks for a review from a buyer who had a positive experience or attempts to divert a buyer who had a negative experience to a different feedback mechanism. Okay, so you can go through here and you can read these, and I would encourage you to read these. You need to be very clear about what Amazon allows and what they don't allow, because if you do these and then Amazon suspends you, it's not going to work if you just say, well, I didn't know what the rules were. And I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to do that. Like, Amazon doesn't care. On Amazon, you're guilty until proven innocent. All right. And I know this sounds a little harsh, but this is seriously like how it goes down, right? Me and my agency, this is what we do for a living. We see this stuff happen all the time. And the sellers, the clients, they get really upset, well, I should be able to do this. I should be able to do that, right? But Amazon, if you signed up to sell on their platform, you signed all their terms and conditions, and there's pretty much nothing that you can do. I hear about people like, oh, I'm going to sue Amazon. Well, go ahead and try, but you you sign the terms and conditions. So it's much better just to go through, read this information, be aware. And if you don't want to do that, then hire somebody who knows this, right? And that way you can be taken care of. All right, that's my rant for product reviews. All right, so let's continue here. All right, so now we're going to talk a little bit about how to handle and remove negative reviews. And this is a big one, right? A lot of people, they start selling and then they get their first negative review and then they're going to YouTube and they're calling people, how do I get rid of this review? It killed my sales, da 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 da, right? And so we're going to talk about that. And there's also some situations like we talked about before where somebody actually leaves a product review in your seller feedback, and that's not appropriate. So there's definitely things we can do to handle that. All right, so product reviews. So let's say that somebody leaves a review, a product review, and you feel that it's inappropriate. What can you do? Well, there's two main things. So the first thing is going to be creating a case log. And I'm not going to go through everything, but essentially what you would do is you would just come up here to the help, and then you could go down here to, get support, selling on Amazon, and then you would create your case, right? So you'd say, on such and such a date, somebody left a review about this. I feel that it is not an appropriate review because X, Y, Z, right? And there's things in that link that I was showing you earlier, and there's also another link that'll tell you, like, if a customer leaves any type of this feedback as a product review, then it's not appropriate. So if on a product review, they left something talking about like you as a seller, like, oh, the package came torn, it didn't arrive on time, it was late. Okay, that is not appropriate for a product review, and you can actually get that product review removed. I have another little story for you. I was working for a pet supplement company, and they were selling this dog supplement. It was like a powder, and it was like for the dog's heart. And unfortunately, a lot of people like kind of buy this product too late. So maybe their pet is getting older, it's getting sick, and so they want to try to go out and like buy supplements and do this medicine and stuff, right? But it's probably already a little bit too late, and maybe the pet is already kind of on its last leg. And basically they give this product to the pet, and then the pet ends up dying, right? And it's not because of the product. It's actually just because the pet was like already gonna die, right? And I know this is a little bit dark, but this is the kind of stuff that we have to deal with on Amazon. So anyways, the person left a product review and was like, hey, I bought this product because it said that it could help with this and this, and I fed it to my pet, and then the next day my pet died, right? 1-star review. And that is not a review that you want to have like on Amazon for your pet supplement product, right? Because people love their pets like they're children, We just had 4 puppies, and if anything happened to them, like I would be devastated, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, we felt that it really wasn't appropriate, because claiming that the product like killed the dog, like, and they had written more information, like, my pet is very sick, I took it to the doctor, he said that it only had a few weeks left, and then so I fed it this product hoping that it would heal it, and then it died, right? So we created a case and we just explained the facts, like, hey, look, here's what the person said, like, this is not fair to say that this product caused the death of the pet. Like, we ask that you would review this, and then if you feel it's appropriate, then you can leave it up there. But if you feel like it's not, then please remove the review. And thankfully, Amazon favored our request, and they actually did remove that product review. So that product review was no longer showing on the page anymore, and people could not find it if they tried to search for it. So that's the type of thing that I'm talking about. A lot of people will get like a bad review, and it's legitimate. It's like, hey, this product, it didn't work for me, or it wasn't what I expected it. And people try to get that removed, and they can't, and they get frustrated. But the thing is, at the end of the day, like, if that was a real verified purchaser and that was their experience, it makes sense and it's appropriate, it probably should stay up there so that other people can understand that experience and then make an informed purchasing decision. So that's the first thing that you can do. The next thing that you can do is you can actually contact those customers. And the way that you would do that is you would go down here to the brands, and then you could go to customer reviews. And then over here, we were already looking at this, but I'm going to show you a little bit deeper. If you have an issue, then like for this one, okay, there was actually a button here to contact the customer. And so this account has somebody managing this, but essentially you can contact the customer, and then there's a couple different options for what you can do. Okay, so for example, when you do that, you can either say, hey, we understand you had this issue. Would you like us to send you a refund, or would you like us to replace the product? And these are like templated messages that Amazon created, but you can kind of direct the conversation. So you can either just ask them, hey, we understand you had a problem. How is it with just not knowing how to use the product, or was the product effective? Those are kind of the two paths. So if they say that they just need a question about how to use the product, then you can communicate with them here on the buyer seller messages, but they may say, no, I just want a refund, or yeah, just go ahead and send me a new product. And so this is also a newer kind of feature that Amazon put out. And it's been really great for my clients to be able to, respond to these customers and actually help them through the situation and fix the problem. So that one's pretty cool. So those are the kind of the two ways to deal with, removing a review. And if you help out the customer and they have a good experience, sometimes they'll go back in and will update the review, right? And I've seen this before where it was like a 1-star and then they change it to a 5-star. And then in the written review, it says update, and then they put the date that they updated it, and they said, hey, like I reached out to the seller, they were super helpful, they replaced the product, no problem. And so, when I got the new product, it actually was what I wanted. It fits correctly, it works correctly. And I just want to let you know that like I had an issue, but it got resolved. And so I'm happy now. And so this is now a 5-star review. So it's all up to the customer, right? But you cannot like contact the customer and ask them to change the review or like remove the review. You can just contact them and like provide customer support. Now with seller feedback, this one is actually a little bit easier to get removed. So if we go down here into our performance and then feedback, then Amazon has made this one a lot more automated. And so here's an example. This one came through and it says, I only received 1 wrist support. Was this supposed to be a pair? So again, this particular situation, because this product is fulfilled by Amazon, a lot of the times Amazon will take the fault for this and not blame it on the seller, right? Because Amazon is the one that actually fulfilled the order. So if there was an issue with the fulfillment, like that's on Amazon, that's not on the seller. And so you can see here with this one, you can contact the customer, or you can request this to be removed. Like I'll just show you here, request removal or post a public reply. So if this was a negative feedback and it was also not like in relation to the seller, like this one down here, we could just do request removal. And this is pretty much automated. So it's going to send a request to the system to just check and see if it has any of these keywords that it knows are not appropriate. And then if it does, then it's going to go ahead and just cross it out. And then this is not going to count against our seller feedback. And so this is a good one where you want to have somebody on your team that goes in and checks this maybe on a weekly basis. And then for any of these that are negative, just, chooses one of these paths, either, ask for it to be removed or contact the customer or post a public reply, right? And this will help your score like go up over time, just taking care of those things and making sure that you can, remove any of these that are not good, right? So we can just filter to the negative, and you can see a lot of these have been crossed out. So these are not counting against us. So really this brand only has, either like 5-star or 1-star, and most of those 1-stars have already been like removed. So they're not gonna count against us. All right, so let's move on to talking about understanding and resolving customer concerns. So up to this point, I've kind of showed you where these product reviews live. I've showed you where seller feedback live. We've talked a little bit how to kind of use the different tools to your benefit, things that you can do to get reviews, get seller feedback. Now let's talk about what to do actually with the information, right? And this is probably one of the most important part of this entire presentation, is understanding how to utilize the feedback that's actually coming to you. And so the first example that I want to show you is over here in the fulfillment reports. So if we go to the fulfillment reports, then we can go to the returns. Okay. And so this is a great place to get an understanding of, like, you know, why are people returning my product? What problems are they having? So I went to reports, and then I went to fulfillments, and then I'm just going to go to the last 14 days. I'm going to generate the report, and then I'm going to look over here, right? So I'm going to scroll down, and here's the first one. So this customer returned the product, and then they marked it as defective. And then you can actually see that there's a little description here. So when they go to return the product, they have to type in like what the problem is. But there are some like pre-selected things like, you know, refused, or, you know, item is defective, but, you know, they can also have the option to write what they want. So this person says, has thumb loop photos, does not show the thumb loop. And they said the product is not described on the website. Okay. So here's another one. Product shows without the thumb loop, but the thumb loops exist. Unwanted item. They bought another product. Item is defective. The blue stitching is defective. Item is defective, not nearly firm enough to lift heavy weights. So the one that really stands out to me here is the one about the thumb loops, right? So this tells me that we're not doing a good job on the product listing, like showing that this product has these thumb loops. And so if I filter through like maybe the last year and then see how many of these people have left this type of comment, if it's a high enough percentage, then I'm going to want to go ahead and update my product detail page to show the thumb loops. And this is critical, because if I can properly take this information, condense it down, and then use it on my product detail page, I'm potentially going to be avoiding people purchasing and then returning the product for this exact issue in the future. And you could think about how over time, if you get enough of these, you know, descriptions from your customers telling you what they like, what they don't like, you can continue to adapt and change your product listing so that it fits exactly all of the needs that these people have, right? And maybe for this one too, it would be good in our questions and answers on the product detail page for me to go in and write a question. Does this product come with a thumb loop? I don't see any in the photos. And then as the seller, we could leave a video and we could actually be like showing the product and show that it does come with a thumb loop. And that could help mitigate a lot of these returns, right? And returns are expensive because they ship the product back, and then Amazon gives the money back to the customer, and I have to pay fees every time that happens, right? So the less of those that I can get, then I'm actually, you know, saving money and making money, and also it's going to help my overall like conversion rate and sell-through rate. So that's just a very simple example of looking at that. The next two are going to be tools that you can use. And so I did want to show you this. So the one that I like the most is called Feedback 5. And I have my client set up on this. And so this is a third-party tool that hooks up to your Amazon account, and then it sends out these messages, okay? And then it also tracks your product reviews and your product ratings. So for this account, we have it set up for all the products, and it's in this really cool dashboard where I've got all my products here, and then it shows me all of my average ratings, the total ratings, you know, how many reviews I've gotten in the last 90 days. And then I can click on these individual products and I can look at these particular statistics. Now, in regards to what we're talking about right now is the feedback. So look how like easy this is to see. I can look at all the reviews right here. I can read them all. I can create filters to look at, you know, the you know, negative, the positive, 1-star, 2-star. And then I can even look at, you know, the different product types here as well, and verified and non-verified. So This is another great way that you could be coming in here, once a week, and you could be checking on your reviews. You could be reading what are people saying about your product, and then you can be taking that information, making your listings better, making that customer service better, improving your packaging. And then you can see over time how your reviews change. So are you getting more positive? Are you getting more negative? Like, have your reviews gone up? Have they gone down? So this is Feedback 5, and I've been using this program for years now. It's the only one that I recommend to clients, and it does everything that we've talked about today and more. It'll also track your feedback, right, as a seller. So again, you can find all of this on Amazon, but what this does is it kind of puts it into this cool, format for you. And then you can also like download the CVS in case you wanted to create like a pivot table or kind of look at the information in another way. So these third-party tools, they just, pull all the data into their system, and then they help you kind of display the information in a better way. And then you can use the filters and everything to kind of take a look. It's a little bit more user-friendly than actually, working on Amazon itself. There's another program here. I'm not going to be able to go over it with you, but it's called Review Monitoring. And this is another one that's similar to Feedback 5. Actually, let me just see if I can. We've got a few more minutes here. So Review Monitoring, this one is great because it's not just for Amazon, but it's also can be applied to the entire internet. So it can pull through your Amazon information, but it can also extract reviews from your website or Walmart.com or Target.com. So this is a great way to just kind of measure your reviews like on a global scale for all of the channels that you sell on. One thing that I really like about this is something called the word cloud. Yeah, and so here it is. So this is the word cloud. I'm not sure if I can increase this. Okay, so yeah, this is what I want to show you. So the word cloud, basically, you can look at the reviews like in the specific time period. So for this one, we're looking at the last 30 days. And so then it's showing me like, what are the most common words that are coming up in my product reviews for the positive and then also for the negative. And then from there, I can click on any one of these particular keywords, and then it's going to show me like, what are the other phrases that are attached to this word. And so you can see like in my hair, hold my hair, of my hair, right? And this can help you start to understand like, how are people talking about your product? What is the language that they're using? What are the keywords that they're using, right? And this is feedback directly from your customer. So you want to take this information and use it to like optimize your product listings. Okay. And so a lot of this is about just capturing this data, breaking it down into different formats so that you can analyze it. And then you can use this as you move forward with selling and scaling up and improving your selling on Amazon situation. So this one has some other cool things too. Let's see, reviews, reports. Yeah. So graphs, analytics, just a ton of different things on this one. Sentiment, that one's kind of cool. So this is going to tell you like overall if people are happy or sad about your product. So check that one out as well too, reviewmonitoring.com. And then finally, for seller feedback, it's going to be a lot of those same tools. Pretty much any of these tools that you would use for monitoring, you're going to have access to looking at seller feedback as well. And so that's what we were looking at over here. And so before we close out, I want to tell you one last quick story about reviews, and specifically with that reviewmonitoring.com website. So there was this brand, and they sell all different types of like home decor. And they had recently launched this new pillow. And it was a special pillow, kind of like a Tempur-Pedic pillow. And they put a lot of time and effort into it, and they put it out in the marketplace. Well, they started selling it, and they started getting a lot of, not that good of review, kind of like neutral or negative reviews. And people were complaining about like where the zipper was, and then the type of material that the pillow was made out of. And at first they thought like, oh, maybe it's just a few people kind of having an issue with this. But over time, they tracked it for like an entire year, and they saw that there was a big percentage, like 80%, that were commenting on like this exact specific thing with the zipper and then the material. So when they got low on inventory and they're getting ready to reorder, they went ahead and they changed the material for something a little bit softer, and then they moved where the zipper was. Then they produced this product again, and they shipped it in, and then they started making sales and tracking and measuring. And what's crazy is all of that feedback about the zipper and the material completely went away. And their review and the ratings started to go up, and they were getting 4 stars and 5 stars and 4 stars, right? And after a certain point, they no longer saw this particular feedback. And so that's the power of monitoring your reviews, monitoring the feedback, and then understanding kind of what's going on and making, being able to make those changes. And so as we close out here, I just want to, review quickly, what we talked about. Number one, product reviews versus seller feedback. Now you know what the difference of that is. How to generate reviews and avoid Amazon penalties. How to handle and remove negative reviews, and understanding and resolving customer concerns. And I just want to thank you so much for participating in this 4-week workshop. I've really enjoyed putting this together for you. I hope it was helpful. And I want to encourage you to stay in touch with us here at Rankin Bank. And you can do that by subscribing to our newsletter. And I would love to just stay in touch. And if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out, and we can help you. So with that, thank you for today. I'm going to go ahead and pass it back over to Karen, and she will close this out.
Thank you so much, James. Thank you for taking the time to do 4 sessions. Wow, I really learned a lot. Thank you all for watching. Please visit sddirect.org for additional on-demand workshops and to check out our latest events. Thank you all again. Hope we'll see you at a future event. Bye, James.
Bye, Karen.